Another day, another job. Our Husqvarna 450X Automower has been giving a few issues, some caused by Mandy, others caused by lack of maintenance. I wouldn't say lack of maintenance, but it's time to do some maintenance on it. The primary problem being that it's giving us an error message occasionally of charging station blocked. I'll show you what it does. So that's the issue. There's clearly nothing blocking it. I have cleaned up the contacts for the charging ports, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the mower apart and check that the actual connections on the charging ports underneath have not got corrosion. Next issue is that we're getting a loop error. So there's a break in the loop. If you have a look under there, you can see we've got a flashing blue light. That's supposed to be solid green. Previously I was using a network cable detector, but it's really not doing the job anymore, so I bit the bullet and bought a proper cable detector. That's what I got from Amazon. We're going to give it a whirl. Hopefully it'll help us find the break quickly. Let's get stuck in. I'm disconnecting all the loop wires so we don't get any crazy stuff going on. Let's say you need to put the black cable onto something that's grounded and then switch on. This is going to be fine. Okay, so now we're just going to walk along the cable. Straight away that's working better. That's fine there. There's definitely a problem down here we're going to have to sort. Okay, so there's a breakdown there somewhere. Okay, I'm just going to try the other leg. And let's go.
He looks like he's taking a dog for a walk but forgot to put the dog on the lead.
I think I found one of the brakes. If you listen here. Doesn't sound. Seems to get very. So I think. So that sounds good. So I think we've got a break here. I'm going to dig and see. Somewhere here.
Al? Love you, but get out the video.
Go that side, it's this side here somewhere. But
now there's no sound.
Yeah, okay, so but as you can see, look at that. Cable's corroded. So this thing does work. Okay. Here it is here. There, you can see the cable's. But why? It's been underground. It's fraught everywhere. Okay, cut it back to there. I think what the main cause of the problem is using these pegs. So I'm going to replace this section here because over here it's fine and over here it's also fine. So I'll put a join in there and then carry on testing. Right, so I've pulled this cable back until I found a section where there's no cracks or any degradation like over here. So I'll cut it over here, join a piece in, cut it over here, join that piece in. I'm not going to use these anymore. So let's just get that done quickly.
Do I do it?
No,
Oh.
because you'll use crimpers on non-crimping ones and all that stuff that you screwed up with, you know what I mean?
Those aren't the right tools.
Those aren't the right tools.
They're not the clippers.
It's, crimpers, not climpers, you idiot. Try and impress the people with how smart you are.
Yeah.
Where are the clippers, babe? That's good. I'm going to hit it with a heat gun. Because Mandy lost the fire one.
No, no.
You did?
No,
It's not where you said it was. I found it.
Where was it?
In the lighter drawer in the office. Make sure we get them completely sealed. Because if water gets in, it's going to cause corrosion and it'll break again. Okay, so I've made the join. Okay, so the joint's made. I'm now just going to tuck this into the furrow that I've made. Make sure it's all covered up. And then move on down the line. See where we find the next break. I would never have found that break without this. Because it was all covered in grass, I would have expected the cable there to be 100%. Carried on with a guide wire all the way around to the corner of the orchard where it goes down to the veggie garden. I've been into the veggie garden and there's no audio there. The irrigation's going off at the moment. So I've decided to see if there's any breaks in the guide wire. I think I've found one. I'll show you now. So, the signal disappears over here. So I think the break is over here. I'm going to dig and see what I can find. There we go. There we go, look at that. Now this is probably from when I laid the guide wire and it wasn't covered up and the sun ate it and then the grass grew over it and it's just corroded away. I'm glad I bought this tool, I'll be honest with you. So from here, all the way past that needle knee pad, to there, I'm going to replace. You can see I covered that up there. Hopefully that's alright. So it's the next day. I managed to get all the brakes fixed and Nico is doing his job again, thank goodness. But I've still got some cable that's not looking very good along the fence to replace. I know guaranteed if I don't, it'll break and Mandy won't have the benefits of Nico while I'm not here. I'll go and show you what I've done. So this is a piece of guide wire that I replaced. You can see the soil that I've covered up with, dug a trench and buried it. So hopefully that cable will last longer than I will. Now you can see this cable over here that's been exposed for quite some time. It's starting to crack and break up. So I'm going to replace over here where it's been above ground. And there I've replaced that coupling. I had used the solder ones which don't make as good a connection, I feel. So I got new crimping ones and used those. And then the next break I found was here by the gate going into the veggie garden. It was exposed and I think all the foot traffic caused it to break. So I replaced the cable from there across the gate. But it was late last night when I got this done, so I've got to come back and bury it so it doesn't break again. Okay, so it's time to put new blades on Nico, the Automower. I also want to try and beat that thing flat. It seems to have been bent a little bit. I'll scrape all this grass off and then get stuck in, take out the charging port, see if I've got corrosion, and that's why it's struggling to find the charge station. It's just a Torx, I think it's a T15. New set of blades, buy them off Amazon. When I first got this mower, you could only get them from Husqvarna, and they were quite pricey. But Amazon, cheapest chips. So it's a new blade. You see the difference. Those have been in for about 2 months. Because we've got pine cones and twigs and stuff that keep falling down in the top garden, the blades don't last that long. But fortunately they're not that expensive, so it's not a major issue. This thing has been a godsend, I've got to be honest. I think I bought it in 2017. That was before any robot mowers were available that didn't need a boundary wire. But to be fair, the boundary wire issues I've been having are probably my own fault for not having buried the cables properly when I first put it in. My usual modus operandi is to just get the thing working as quickly as possible, promising to come back and sort it out properly when I'm done, but there's always something more important to do, so it is what it is. Locating things, there we go. Let's scrape some of this grass off. You might be tempted to hit it with a pressure washer. Don't do that. It's got sensors and it picks up that it's been hit with a pressure washer. It doesn't like it. Been through a couple sets of these. Also replaced the 2 drive motors as well since I've had it. It's going to send him on his way. I've got other stuff to do now. I'll do the charging port later. Start and away it goes. Go forth and mow. Fast forward 4 weeks. I ran out of time to finish sorting out Nico last time I left. Got him going so he was mowing. I didn't get a chance to sort out the boundary wire along the fence. Mandy called me 3 days after I left and said, Nico, stop mowing again. So I figured it was that boundary wire. It wasn't. There was another break down in the bottom of the orchard which I fixed this morning. So he's been mowing away. But I'm now going to do the check on the charging ports to make sure that they're not loose. I'll show you what I'm going to do now. So I need to take this top cover off, but first I'm going to pull these cables out so I can disconnect them so I can work properly. So you just pop the grommets out, easier said than done. There we go. Disconnect the cable. Now these connectors over here also can sometimes go bad and not make decent contact, but these seems to have been getting a bit warm. I might need to replace those at some point. Right, so we'll leave those like that. Turn it over. And then to get this top panel cover off, you just give it a tug on each corner. There we go. And as you can see, it's in a bit of a mess, so I'll take the opportunity to get it all cleaned up as well. So be careful, you don't want to... Oh, the back's got no bellows. Got to be careful here, you don't put a hole through these bellows. So underneath that white plastic cover are the charging points on the mower. I'm going to take that off and make sure that the connections from the cables to the metal charging posts aren't loose. Now normally the way you get this white cover off is you unscrew a screw over here, but I screwed it up when I put it together the last time and I stripped the thread, so I had to make a modification. I used the wrong size screw. Drilled a hole through the top, put a nut on a countersink bolt on the top and a nut on the bottom. There we go. And then this should just wiggle off. There we go. So sometimes these go loose. They seem all right. I'll pop that back. There we go. Now another reason I've taken the top off, I bought another 450X mower off eBay. It was listed as spares or repair, dead. So I figured, well, price wasn't too bad. I could do with another one for spares. When I got it, it was in a good condition. It was just dead. Now I'm not sure if it's because the batteries that it had are shot. They're only showing 13.4 volts. They should be 18 volts and they're not charging. Now it's either because the batteries are shot or the main board in that other mower is shot. So I figured I'll bring the batteries across here, stick them in this mower, see if they charge. If they do charge, I'll take them back with me, stick them into the mower and see if it's just the charging circuit that's shot on the main board. It's worth a shot, otherwise I got spares. So I'm going to strip the top cover off this mower, swap out the batteries, stick it in the charging station and see what happens. Okay, so I've taken all the screws off. Let me just double check I've taken them all off. Yeah, I have. So I'm going to just lift this top cover off. Got to be careful, disconnect that ribbon cable, and that's you done. So they're the two batteries that are no work. I'm going to take those out and pop in the batteries from the other mower. There's two Torx, one on either side over here. What's up? And you just lift this clip off. There we go. Disconnect them. Take them out. No. Oh man, silly dog, what you doing? And I've just noticed we got a problem on this mower. The plastic housing on these sensors over here is broken. It's not the first time this has happened. That side's broken as well. But that's not going to stop me doing this test with the batteries anyway. So it would appear those batteries from the mower I bought on eBay are fine. I've swapped them out yesterday. He's been mowing through the night and the battery life seems to be what you'd expect. Runs for about 4 hours and then charges for an hour. So batteries are fine. In my quest for the broken boundary wire, I've uncovered some more areas of the boundary wire that need replacing. So I'll get stuck into that as well as the boundary wire along the other fence before I leave this trip. While I was scrolling through eBay looking for Husqvarna bits and pieces, I came across this. It's a cutting disc that takes 5 blades. So I figured I'll have one of those. So I'm going to fit it now and we'll send Nika out and see if we can see any difference in the quality of the cut. Now it should be easy enough to change. Famous last words. Ah, need a 5mm Allen key, not a 5 or 4. Take 2. No. There we go. How the hell does this come off? Huh. That's not good. I've got to get that out so I can get the screws out underneath. But this is, it's going to be fun. See if I can get a better grip on it. Now this hasn't come off in 6 years, 7 years, so I might struggle. Sorry, Frankie. Ah, huh, I didn't struggle. That's unusual. And that should just lift off. There we go. Right, off with the old, on with the new. Now I replaced the blades the last trip back, and it's only mowed 2 or 3 days after I left, and it's been mowing now for the last 5 or 6 days, so I'm only going to swap the blades over and put 2 new ones on. The old ones are still in pretty good nick. Let's still find that bearing. Right, 2 new blades. You've got to make sure when you screw these in that they're loose. You can see there's a, I don't know if you can see that, there's a collar on the nut, on the screw. I can see Mandy hovering. I wonder if she's got another item to add to the honeydew list. There we go, done. Off it goes. So we'll leave him mowing for a couple of hours and see if we see any difference in the quality of the cut. I assume we'll see an improvement because 5 blades have got to be better than 3, right? So it's the next day. Nico's been mowing with the 5-blade cutting wheel on it for the last 18 hours or so. I'd like to say it seems to be cutting better. Can't exactly see it, but the grass just seems to be looking a bit better where it's cut. I think it's a good upgrade. So I'd recommend, if you've got a Husqvarna Automower, the 400 series, pick one up. You can find them on eBay. I think it was about 29 bucks, so not too much. For those of you out there that have got these mowers, they really are quite easy to fix. You just need to know where to get the spares from. GPLshop.com is who I normally use. They're based in Sweden, I think, but they ship worldwide. Their prices are fairly reasonable. The only thing you're not going to be able to fix yourself is if you have to replace a main board or a display board. You need the Husqvarna Automower Connect software for that, and you cannot get your hands on that for love nor money. I've tried, believe me. Dealers only for that type of fix, but everything else you can sort yourself. Cutting motor, drive motors, ultrasonic sensors, stuff like that, that doesn't need programming, you can fix yourself and save a fortune. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully this has helped you Husqvarna mower owners out there a little bit. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already subscribed, it would be really helpful if you did. It helps the channel grow. So until next time, take care out there. Ciao.